Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunatu Sahabhirjam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitathaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. So we are doing the 15th verse, 115. Atma kaha
Atma kaha
sthula sukshma
Stula Sukshma
karana sharirat vyatiriktaha
Karana Sharira Vatiriktaha
karana sharirat
Karana Sharirat
vyatiriktaha
Vatiriktaha
panchakoshatita san
Panchakoshatita San
avasthatraya sakshi
Avastatraya Sakshi
Satchidananda Rupa San
Satchidananda Rupa San
Yastishtati
Yastishtadi
Sa Atma.
Sa Atma.
Okay. You can mute yourself. So last class we saw how the Shastram was extending the boundary between Aham, I, and everything in this world that is not I. So in general, everybody has an idea who I am, and every object in this world I am not. Very clear. The confusion starts from my body. Body onwards, the confusion starts. So the universal confusion, the universal idea is that I am the body. So last class, even though the idea was not totally new to us, we again formally went through that analysis. And we said in any object, suppose I say here is an apple, and you see apple. The apple is this. The apple is an object, and I don't consider myself as an object. And every object I see like this apple is an object. An object means I know it. And of course, I am not the apple. So we said, anything in this world I know, or I am capable of knowing, that thing, that object, in that object there cannot be an I sense. In that object, I can never say I am that object. I will not have the I sense in that object. This is what we saw last time. So those objects are called idam pratyaya vishayaha. Idam pratyaya vishayaha means those objects in whom I have this thought or that thought. This is the way Shastra puts it. Idam pratyaya vishayaha. So those in which I will refer to those objects as this or that. In contrast with this me, the I, where the Shastram says, I am aham pratyaya vishaya. I am somebody in whom I have the I sense. Aham pratyaya means I sense. The only object in this world where I have the I sense seems to be located within this body. This much we saw before. Good. Then the Shastram extended that idea to say, wait a minute, do you know the body or not? Yes, I know the body. If you know the body, then you are the knower of the body. You cannot be the body. Then we said, what about all the physiological functions, hunger, etc.? Same thing. Mind, same thing. Are you an observer of your thoughts? Are you, when I say I am sad, am I able to see my sadness? Yes, I can see it. It is happening in my mind. Then in that case, the Shastram is saying, perhaps you are not the sadness. This much we saw. And we said that we concluded with Krishna's statement in the Bhagavad Gita, Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramithya Vidhiyate. So this body, mind, sense complex, anything which I refer to as I, is really part of the Kshetra, is really an Idam Pratyaya Vishaya. That is what Krishna said, told Arjuna. So very interesting. Arjuna starts this whole teaching. In fact, he was the one who starts, because he was the one who tells Krishna, I am your student. The minute you say, I am your student, then you are giving an indication that I want to learn something from you. So that's when Krishna started teaching. So he says this in the 13th chapter. Okay. So we have taken away, we have chipped away this body, mind, sense complex and recognized that I am not the body, I am not the mind. This much we have seen. So let's look into it further. What is left out? That we have to see. What is left out? So whenever I see an object, I sense an object, there is a form that I perceive, color I perceive, or there is a smell or a taste I perceive. Everything is known to me. I cognize all these things. So these objects keep on changing. From my perspective, these objects keep on changing. They're all variable. So the question is there anything invariable? Is there anything invariable? So now we are going to change the language a little bit. So this is an object, this is apple, we said. We will say there is apple consciousness. When you see this apple, there is apple consciousness. Correct? In this mind, there is apple consciousness. So I show a book like this. I show an object like this. Immediately, the book is the book. You recognize a book and some details about this book. And there is book consciousness. So I wear glasses I'm a short-sighted person. So I show this and you say glasses, eyeglasses. Eyeglasses consciousness is. Eyeglasses consciousness is. There is this class and therefore there is class consciousness. Class consciousness, which is to be, of course, different from the other class consciousness they talk about in social sciences. Upper class, middle class, lower class, and working class, and all these things. That's also a type of class consciousness. Suddenly it occurred to me when I said class. Class consciousness. So flower consciousness, flower smell consciousness, all this we can appreciate. So then body consciousness, thought consciousness, mind consciousness, hunger consciousness is all there. So finally everything is thought consciousness. Thought of an object, consciousness. Then we say, then invariable in all these things, the variable being all these objects, the invariable is consciousness, chit. The word in Sanskrit for consciousness. There are many words. One main important word is chit. That chit is there all the time in any cognition, in any knowledge, in any objectification, in any perception. Chit is there. So we can extend it further. Space and time, very big things. Physicists like to look at this, space and time. They're all tired of all these objects. They say, these are all very clear. But what about space? What about time? Space. Space, when I say, immediately there is a cognition. There is a cognition of distance. Either shortness of distance or the vastness of distance, which we call this vast space. Space accommodates everything because it has the capacity to accommodate. Very interesting way in which our Shastram talks about space. It says space is avakasha pradatri. Avakasha pradata means that which accommodates is space. Look at how beautiful they say. That which accommodates is space. Okay, so that is how we appreciate space. Then time is also appreciated by me. Time past. We had a class last week. I went to Rajasthan, Jaipur last year with my family. So last year, we were married 5 years ago. Past, idea of past is very much there. Present is very much there. I am in class. I woke up today just few hours ago. I have to go to office. I have to cook. Today, this is present. Present is very clear. And future. Future looms large in all of us. So many things to accomplish, so many things. Children are there, they have to grow up. And the future is very much there in us, looms large. So this idea of time is there very much. So time consciousness, space consciousness is there. So this time, we will say later on that time is not absolute. Why it is not absolute, we will begin to appreciate when we analyze like this. So this consciousness is invariable, but time consciousness, space consciousness, thought consciousness, everything is a variable. I am ignorant. I am ignorant of Chinese language. I am ignorant. I am ignorant about the neighbor. Many things about the neighbor I don't know. I am ignorant about the population of Coimbatore and the society of Coimbatore. I know only a little bit. I don't know a lot. The history of Coimbatore. So ignorant. I am ignorant when I say there is ignorance consciousness. There is ignorance consciousness, consciousness of ignorance. So we will say that in all these things, consciousness is very much there. Consciousness is there. Okay, so we introduce the word consciousness, which helps me be conscious of anything in this world. Subtle things, gross things, things that I can infer also is there in my consciousness. So consciousness. Now, the question is, can't consciousness be an object? Like so many objects we talked about, can consciousness be an object? This is the question. So we will do a small exercise now. So I request all of you to just softly close your eyes. Close your eyes, don't visualize anything outside, don't see anything. And I will mention a few words. And you please try to see that object. Apple, book, pen, consciousness, table, car, road, consciousness, India, lotus, tree, consciousness, sun, 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 crow, mustard seeds, consciousness. Now open your eyes. So you visualized, you were able to see all these objects. When I said consciousness, what were you able to see? That is the question. Did you see anything? Did you objectify something like you objectified so many objects? Yeah, so no, that is the answer we are hearing. Did not objectify anything. So when we say no, does it mean consciousness does not exist? Because something that doesn't exist and that you don't know also you can't objectify. No, that is not the case, because we are aware of consciousness. So it is not that consciousness doesn't exist. Now, does consciousness mean nothing to you? No, it means something. I am a conscious being. We say that very clearly. What is the meaning of saying I am conscious of the book? The book is not conscious of me. So we have an understanding of being conscious of and consciousness. So we can say that we are going to introduce this idea that I am that consciousness. That consciousness which I am not able to objectify. That consciousness I am. Okay, I am that consciousness. The content of the knower. When I say I see a tree, when I say I see my children, that seer, the content of the seer is consciousness. That I, that consciousness is Atma. And therefore, this consciousness, we have now through this exercise recognized that consciousness cannot be an object. I cannot be an object of my perception, of my objectification, of my cognition. Consciousness cannot be an object. Can consciousness be displaced by something else? This also we need to look at. So when I say horse, you can see horse. Cow, you are able to see cow. Visualize cow. So the cow replaces the horse in my cognition. Then I say potato. Immediately potato replaces cow. Potato chips. Potato chips replaces potato. There is still some potato in potato chips though. So like this, these objects replace the object that was there before. But does consciousness get replaced? No, consciousness cannot get replaced. If you remember something, remember a past event, consciousness is very much there. So recollection, consciousness is there. Think of something in the future that I am afraid of. Consciousness is there. Space consciousness, I think of space. I think of distance. Consciousness is there. Space does not replace consciousness. The apple did not replace consciousness. Potato did not replace consciousness or displace consciousness. So consciousness cannot get displaced, never gets displaced. So we are beginning to appreciate that every object is in consciousness. Every thought is bathed in consciousness. Every thought is floating in consciousness. And that consciousness is Chit. This Shastram uses the word Chit for consciousness. Earlier we saw, I mentioned it briefly, that sometimes the word Chit can mean something else depending on context. Mind, it can also mean mind. But here it means consciousness. Chit cannot be replaced. Chit is the one that enables me to be conscious of everything, including my emotions. Subtle. Okay. One more question we have to ask. So, everything gets revealed to me. When I say this, when I show this to you, immediately apple is revealed to you. Apple becomes evident to me. When I say, let's do a homework, would you like to have a homework for next week? Immediately homework becomes evident to me. And everything that comes with homework, oh, I need to put some effort. I need to set aside some time. Is it going to take 1 hour? Is it going to take 2 hours? When will I do this homework? All that becomes evident to me. So all these objects become evident to me. Happiness becomes evident to me. Fear becomes evident to me. The question is, how about consciousness? This also we have to answer. So, we are going to introduce a couple of words. See, the sun is shining. We say sun is shining. Sun illuminates. It is bright. It is a source of light. So we use the word in Sanskrit called bhati. Suryaha bhati. Bha is a dhatu. It's a root in Sanskrit which means to shine. So when we say Suryaha bhati, what we are saying is the sun shines. Simple statement. Sun shines. Suryaha bhati. Now in the night sky, I look outside and I see the moon is also shining. Moon is also shining very much. The question is moon an intrinsic source of light? No, it is not. It appears to be shining, no doubt. We accept that. And even that light is approaching the earth. But it is really reflected light. So we say Chandraha Anubhati. Anubhati. Anubhati means what? Shines after. That is the meaning. Shines after. It is not a source of light. It is just reflecting light that it borrowed from the sun. Suryaha bhati, Chandraha anubhati. So the word bha, I think it won't be new to you if I tell you the word Bhaskara. Bhaskar, we say Bhaskar. That word has this dhatu, bha. Just like Namaskaraha, Shankaraha. Namaskaraha means what? Namaskaroti iti namaskara. I do namaste, therefore it is called Namaskaraha. Shankaraha. Sham karoti iti Shankaraha. The one who gives auspiciousness, gives blessings is Shankara. So like that, Bhaskaraha. Bhaha karoti iti Bhaskara. The one who shines is called Bhaskara. That's all. Etymologically, see now how it all comes. So in Surya Namaskar, that's why you have Om Hram Mitraya Namaha, Om Hrim Ravaye Namaha, Om Hrum Suryaya Namaha. And finally, the 12th name is Om Khrah Bhaskaraya Namaha. Good. So Bha, to shine. So anything in this world, we will say, the tree Anubhati, Vrikshaha Anubhati, Shishuhu Anubhati, the infant shines after the source of light. There is some source of light, the baby shines. The car shines after Anubhati. The earth Anubhati. The tree Anubhati. The piece of cloth Anubhati. The raindrops Anubhati. Everything is Anubhati. The forest Anubhati. Surya Bhati. Okay. So now the Shastram is using an imagery to help us appreciate consciousness once again. The imagery is with respect to visual perception. What is it? The sun shines, no doubt. Surya Bhati. But for me to perceive the sun, my eyes must be open. My eyes must be operating. Correct? Just a visual imagery. Just from a visual perspective. The blind person cannot say the sun shines. Cannot. So, for me to say the sun shines, the eyes must be operating. So we say, Chakshuhu Bhati. The eyes shine. Surya Anubhati. The eyes shine. The sun shines after the eyes. Visual perception, remember. We are not saying if you don't open your eyes, the sun won't shine. That we don't say. Physically, the sun is shining. Otherwise, we all have to tell each other, wait, keep your eyes open for a while. You know, let us finish the day. Otherwise, I can't go to office. Like that, we will say. Fortunately, the sun shines by itself. Okay. So, but from a visual perception perspective, the eyes bhati and Surya Anubhati. Then we will go a little further. We know very well that if the mind is not operating behind the eyes, then the eyes cannot see, ears cannot hear. That is why in class sometimes you wake up and you say, wait a minute, what happened? Why? Because the mind was thinking about something. that I must do at 8 o'clock. So mind went off in a different track, and suddenly you come back and you wonder what happened. So therefore we say, Manaha bhati, chakshuhu anubhati. The eyes shine after the mind. The mind shines. Correct? This much is clear. So, dream. What about dreams? Dream manaha bhati. Dream anubhati. Dream anubhati. I am able to see the complete dream. So, the mind shines and the dream shines after. Somebody asked, I'm now recall the question that was there in the satsang. Mohaniji asked the question, Kumarji, this dream is so bright. Dream is so bright means what? Yeah, Mohaniji, my dream is not so bright, unfortunately. It seems a little dull. But still, that brightness that you see in the dream, who is the source of that brightness? We need to see. Okay, for now, the mind bhati, dream anubhati. But then what about the mind? Is that really a source of this shine? No, it can't be. Consciousness bhati, the mind anubhati. That is why I can go to bed and I can say I dreamt, and I can wake up and I say I slept well. The mind was off. Mind was completely turned off to all feelings, perceptions, even visualizations like the dream. So consciousness bhati, mind manaha anubhati. Correct? Mind bhati. I mean mind anubhati. Aham. The minute I say aham, I can't say bhati, because in Sanskrit, bhami, I have to say. Bhami. Aham bhami. Correct? Or just because we are using the word bhati, aham bhati. Mind anubhati. I bhati. So, this I, this consciousness is always evident to me, always reveals itself. It doesn't have to become evident to me. We saw that consciousness cannot be displaced. If consciousness also gets displaced, then there will be times when I am not. I can't say I slept well. The continuity will not be there. This coma and other things, we will look at it later. That's a special case. Even there, consciousness is there. But the physical functions, the neurological functions that are required to manifest that consciousness is not there. So the person cannot recollect. His person is totally off, in coma. So, without this consciousness, can anything become evident to me? Without this self-evident consciousness, can anything become evident to me? That is the question. Okay. Important question. Because in our daily life, we take so much for granted. And so, apple is because I see. Sounds are, I can hear sounds because I hear. Sounds are because I hear. Because I hear. Remember, from a perception perspective, thoughts are because I see those thoughts. So there is a because for everything. There is a because. So because I see, because I feel, because I smell, I am able to perceive all these things. Therefore, without that self-evident consciousness, nothing can become evident to me. And this consciousness is self-evident, self-revealing. We can ask one more question to make it even clearer. Do I exist? Do you exist? If I ask that question, what can be the answer to that? Do you exist? So suddenly you go out and ask somebody, do you exist? You will throw off that person because this is not a normal conversation. He may run away from you. क्या बात है, आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? He will say. So yeah, I'm asking you a very serious question. Do you exist? So yeah, what sense organ do I have to operate to find out if I exist or not? Do I have to use my eyes? Yes. Do I have to hear myself? Do I have to feel myself? Perhaps. Perhaps I should feel myself. No. We say that to say I exist, you don't need any evidence. If I say I need evidence, if I say, like if I ask you, does apple exist? Then I need evidence to say apple exists. Yeah, I can think of an apple, all right. But if I ask you, is there an apple in your room? I need evidence. Without evidence, I can't say apple exists in the room. Evidence is needed. So what evidence is needed? I will ask. If you say, I don't know, I need evidence, I will ask, what evidence is needed? For whom is that evidence needed? Look at these questions. I need the evidence. I need the evidence. Okay, you got the evidence of Atma, that I exist. If you say, I got the evidence of Atma, then you are the knower of Atma. So if I am the knower of Atma, then we know that I am not the Atma. I am not what I know. So I am contradicting myself. If I say I need evidence and I got evidence, if I say, then what object you got evidence of cannot be I. Okay. So this much we can appreciate. So I cannot make I as an object. So I is self-evident. Consciousness is self-evident, because of which everything else becomes evident to me. Beautiful mantra is there in Shastram. Some of you may know it. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Some of you are nodding your heads. My God, so fascinating. You go to the temple and you go there and you do all the pradakshina and all that, and the Pandita is now showing the camphor, the flame, and especially, I don't know how it happens in North Indian temples, but yeah, it is there everywhere. So they show the camphor, they show the light on this murti, in front of the murti, and ringing the bell. The bell ringing is for us to get our attention on what is happening. That is the main purpose of bell ringing, okay? Because our attention is all over the place. You know, you tell your son, daughter, hey, chup raho, this, that, you're doing all kinds of stuff. And bag you're checking, and I'm checking if my wallet is there or not. All this, their mind is fragmented. I went to the temple for a particular reason. Arey, jara jakar wahan. Let me just be myself there, and let me connect with Bhagavan, with Ishwar. So there, this man rings the bell. So the attention comes on what is happening. And there he says, na tatra suryo bhati. So bhati, we know what it means. Shining, shines. Na bhati, does not shine. Na suryo bhati, the sun does not shine. Na tatra suryo bhati, there the sun does not shine. Look at this. My God. He's saying there the sun does not shine. Means he's saying the sun doesn't shine by itself. Okay. What does he say next? Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Na chandra tarakam. Neither does the moon and those so-called twinkling stars, bright, brilliant twinkling stars, even they don't shine. Na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti. Even these thunders and lightning, they also don't shine. They also don't. They are nothing. They have nothing in them. Nema vidyuto bhanti. Kutoyam agnihi. This mantra is just fascinating. Kutoyam agni, he says, the sun itself does not shine, I have told you. I am agnihi. This piece of flame that I am holding in my hand. I have already told you the sun doesn't shine. Do I have to tell you this flame also doesn't shine? This is what the mantra says. Kutaha. Kutaha means where from? What to talk of? What to talk of this small little flame which is going to get extinguished shortly? This puny little thing, no, that also doesn't shine. Kutoyam agnihi. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. That alone shines. Anubhati sarvam. Everything else shines after that. Okay, look at how beautiful it is. And also simple to follow once we understand. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Tasya bhasa. Its brilliance. Sarvamidam vibhati. Its brilliance alone illuminates everything else. That's all. This is what he's saying. He is referring to Ishvara and he is referring to you. He is worshipping you. Can you believe it? This Atma, this consciousness is being worshipped, praised, and he is trying to show this little flame to illuminate this. So symbolically also that is beautiful, because here is a murti in our temples. In our temples generally, those days there was no light, all these bright lights and all won't be there. Lights were not there and it is all dark. You go there, go to big temple. You say, I went to Chidambaram temple. You say, I went to Meenakshi temple in Madurai. And you go there and you say, and you have to ask, Dad, where is Meenakshi? Where is this Shiva? You will ask. So because it is dark, and that too the murti is also black in color, so that makes it doubly more difficult to identify. So there is a purpose behind it. The purpose is you can't really see Ishvara. Look at that. These things we have to tell our children how beautiful it is. Children will enjoy all this. Oh my God. Can you see yourself? You ask these children. They will say, no, I can't see myself. That is why they have this thing like that. Children will go ecstatic when they hear this. So therefore he shows this lamp. This lamp of knowledge is the only thing that can illuminate you, oh dear God. Look at that. Correct? This lamp of knowledge is needed. In fact, in our southern India, in this language, in Tamil, this person who does this, we call him Guru. Gurukal, we say Gurukal, right? Maybe in Malayalam also they might say it. Gurukal, they might say, I don't know. So Gurukal means what? Guru. The word Guru. He is called Guru. Only the Guru can show this light of knowledge. And therefore he is called Guru. So, na tatra suryo bhati, chandraha na bhati, tarakam na bhati. Nothing shines. The only thing that shines is I, consciousness. Everything else anubhati. Correct? Everything anubhati. This much we have learned. So here we can make an important observation. No sense organ can objectify Atma. No sense organ can objectify consciousness. We have seen that. And I, because it is self-evident, it need not be objectified also. It's a bonus for us. Everything else I have to objectify. But when it comes to I, I don't have to objectify it. I just shines. It's self-evident. That is why often they say the Atma is beyond the senses. You may have heard the word beyond. Right? Is beyond sense organs, beyond sense perception. Like this you may have studied or heard. See, when we use the word beyond, What occurs to you? When I say beyond, A is beyond B. Means what? The idea of distance comes to you. The idea of spatial separation comes to you. Correct? Somebody calls me and says, I'm coming, and he says, yeah, where are you? I ask him, he says, I am at the agricultural university. You have to go beyond, further. One more kilometer. Then take a right. Go beyond. You have to go beyond this Mahalakshmi temple that comes. Beyond means distance. It creates a separation. It creates distance. So this is why we don't use the words like Swamiji never used the words like beyond senses. You are beyond the body. You are beyond the body is a wrong statement. Beyond can be used. If we use it, we have to immediately say you are beyond the body means unlike the body which is objectified by my sense organs, you, Atma, cannot be objectified. That is the meaning of beyond the senses, beyond the body and all these things. Otherwise, if somebody says you are beyond the body, you'll start imagining. Immediately distance. I am not the body means there is a distance between me and the body. Who said there is a distance between me and the body? We saw before the beggar is the actor, actor is not the beggar. We saw the wave is water, the water is not the wave. Who said there is a distance between water and wave? Who said there is a distance between the role I am playing and I? There is no distance. This word beyond has to be removed. We don't use that word in this class. If at all by mistake we use it, we will immediately correct it. So we don't use the word, but understand that when you read such a sentence in a book, they ought to mean that Atma cannot be objectified. I say they ought to mean because I don't know if that person understood. The person who writes, I don't know if they understood or not. So that is important. Therefore, Atma is not objectified, cannot be objectified. And we saw that consciousness is Atma. That Atma is not an object. That Atma cannot be replaced. That consciousness, Chit, cannot be replaced. That Chit is self-evident. And thanks to the Chit being self-evident, everything becomes evident to me. Correct? This is what we appreciated, we learned today. So we will stop this and continue the discussion. We are still at this Atma Kaha. Student asked the question, Atma Kaha. Apparently a good question. And the teacher just is saying, Satchidananda Atma San Yas Tishtati Sa Atma. So we can't simply use a word and translate the word and move on. It's not possible. So we will continue like this, maybe a couple of more classes before we go to the next. Most likely, I'm guessing the next question should be back to that Stula Sukshmam, Stula Shariram Kim, correct? Because that was the answer he gave. So the student will ask the question, Stula Shariram Kim. So we will get more clarity on all these things. So we will conclude the class with that. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ।